Greetings to all. The scripture reading from which this week's point to ponder arises comes from the Gospel of Matthew. Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20, one of the scripture passages appointed for the 14th Sunday after Pentecost. In the passage, Jesus gives advice to communities of faith to work out their disagreements with each other. But I think the wisdom of the advice extends to our relationships in the world as a whole, rather than only to communities of faith. To live together with many different people in the world inevitably means that disagreements will arise. Therefore, quite often, our ability to move forward into a future which includes the well-being of all depends greatly on how we handle our disagreements. In the passage, Jesus says to his followers, "Truly I tell you, if two of you agree on earth about anything you ask, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven." There is quite a bit of irony in that statement, because sometimes it's impossible to get agreement between two people when the stakes of what needs to happen are high, and when the two people have very different ideas and sometimes even contradictory ideas of what needs to happen. It is from this irony that this week's point to ponder arises. The point is this: sometimes all you can do is agree to disagree. My guest today is my daughter, Jennifer Browne MacIsaac. Jennifer, would you tell us a little about yourself?
I'm currently kind of a stay-at-home mom. I'm doing the virtual school thing with my kids and some other kids. But I'm an artist in my spare time and would like to do more with that.
Thank you. So I asked you here today to talk about a particular point, my point to ponder for this week. And that point is this: sometimes all you can do is agree to disagree. So I'm going to let you just kind of start us off on that point, and then we'll see where this conversation goes from there.
Okay. As I was kind of thinking through that point, I kind of came back to my Enneagram personality type, which is a 9. And for people who aren't familiar with a 9, it's the Enneagram kind of explains different personality traits, and it is a number system 1 through 9. So the 9 personality type is somebody who's called the peacemaker. So they tend to be the person who's maybe not super confrontational. Maybe they try to look at things from lots of different angles and all different sides and kind of avoid conflict. And that is definitely me. I am a conflict avoider unless I am really comfortable with you. So I spend a lot of my life agreeing to disagree with people. One thing that I have noticed, especially as I get older, is how to kind of look at things and try to see the other person's point of view, and try to keep in mind what my point of view still is, and express that in a way that they can hear it, hopefully, without really trying to kind of, I guess, push it or be antagonistic in any way. And so that can be really challenging because because when I start to get kind of pushback from them, sometimes I do shut down, and sometimes it is hard, and I'll have to replay that over and over again in my head and especially when it is an important relationship to me, that I don't want to damage that relationship, but I do feel strongly about whatever point it is that I'm working on, and find a way that I can express myself to them and then kind of meet them somewhere in the middle. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I think of as agreeing to disagree. It's that compromise. It's that middle ground where you come together and move forward. Yeah, with my oldest, who's 14, and she's very, headstrong and opinionated type of person, and definitely not afraid of conflict. So she has a lot of big ideas, and they sometimes clash with what my ideas are. So with her, it can be hard, but sometimes trying to figure out I guess pick your battle kind of thing, like what points I really need to like drive home and which points I can kind of feel her out more and hear her side and where she is more. Because I think that often you tend to kind of spin a scenario from your own maybe past experiences and things that it's not always exactly what it is in that moment. I've noticed that a lot with me. Like I'll hold on to, maybe a past memory I have of an event or an idea. And then when she does something that maybe reminds me of that, I'll have just like this gut reaction to that situation that might color my response to her. And if I can kind of come back off of that a little bit, then I'm better able to kind of meet her where she is. And I think, she does that too. Like she's gotten a lot better about that too. Just kind of taking some time, maybe, calming down just a little bit and thinking through things a little bit. And then we can kind of come back together and hopefully get to a place of understanding or a compromise. It's different in parenting too. It's hard to know when to put your foot down as the parent and when to just be like, okay, this is another person with their own ideas.
Right. And it changes as kids grow older too, I think. It also makes me think, I know that some of the work that you and Dorothy do in creating mindfulness helps prepare, especially women, to do just this, to not sort of lose themselves, to be able to love themselves, identify themselves, appreciate themselves, and to do certain things when they hit a situation where they might have to stop. So I wonder if you could just do just a brief little explanation of some of the things that you guys talk about when you talk about that.
So creating mindfulness is all about kind of taking care of yourself where you are at that moment. And one big thing that we like to say is that all feelings are okay. It's okay no matter where you are. And we want to be there to support each other through the low times, but we also want to be there to applaud each other through the really good times. And so everybody experiences, a wide range of emotions and times and especially in relationships and in their life along the way. And so one of the things that we do is we have topics that we cover each month. So it could be something like imposter syndrome is one that we've done. I think the one coming up tomorrow is the power of words, the power of what you say. We've done creating your own magic. So sometimes we try to get like some pretty fun topics and sometimes they're more serious. But it's all about just kind of embracing where you are in that moment and reflecting on that and what maybe brought you to that point. And then we work into a meditation and kind of just center and reflect. And it's all still, again, on whatever topic we are discussing at that time. And then we go into a creative prompt. And from my feeling and Dorothy's feeling is that creativity is very linked to your health and your self-care, and that we're all innately creative. And so tapping into that is giving back to ourselves. And so when we can put that creative practice together with the mindfulness practice and meditation, then it's just kind of a full spectrum package of how to kind of give back to yourself. And when you're taking care of yourself in that way, then it is easier to come to an understanding or that agree to disagree with even yourself or with others when you're in a healthier, spot as a whole.
I want to, I like to, as we kind of end these, to let somebody just have something that they would like to say about, related to the point of that sometimes all you can do is agree to disagree and that's all right. So is there anything you would say about that to just be sort of a word you'd leave people with, a phrase, a thought?
I think agreeing to disagree is a everyday thing. We're all in relationships, so we all come at relationships from different perspectives and different points of view, and whenever you're going to relate to somebody, you have to consider their points as well. So you have to be able to not only advocate for your needs and for where you are, but also hear where they are and hear their needs, and hopefully come to a place of understanding where you can move forward in whatever that decision is that you're trying to make. I think it's just kind of in every relationship, whether it's parent-child, business partners, marriage or family partners, parents, even in the broader spectrum of like the political system and kind of where we are right now with all of that. It's just life.